How to get a clear title on a tax deed property. Imagine owning a property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances without breaking the bank. In this video, I'll show you exactly what it means to get a free and clear property with no liens and encumbrances. Probably one of the most overstated things in the tax lien and tax deed world is you're gonna get a property with no liens and encumbrances. That's kind of true, but I'm gonna show you how to make that happen in reality. Stay tuned to the very end and I'll show you how to do that. So let's just walk through the process. I think the misnomer with tax deed purchasing. So when I go to a tax deed sale, everybody says, well, you're wiping out all liens and encumbrances. Yes, that is true, but it doesn't happen that day that you put your hand up. So let's just go with a straight tax deed sale, okay? We'll start with that and we'll go to some redemption deeds out there, redeemable deeds. So if I go to a sale, say in California, and I put my hand up and they say sold, yes, I do get a tax deed on that property. But I haven't finished the whole process because remember, how could you possibly clear any liens or encumbrances on that property without actually taking them off? And you can't actually take them off until it goes to the sale. So you're kind of right here in the middle, if you will. So I go to the sale and I buy it. They go, here you go. Here's a list of people on there and they need to be taken off of this deal. So that doesn't mean they have another opportunity to come in and redeem on it. Not even close to that. All that means is we've now foreclosed on the property. They did have an opportunity up to that very minute before the auction, and now that opportunity has been lost. But I still have a title on here that 99.9% of title insurance companies would not insure. Okay? Why? Because there's a risk. I want you to think about title insurance companies. What are they for? I'm not picking on them because I love title insurance companies. They ensure that the property that I'm buying has a clear title on it. Nobody's gonna come up and go, wait, I have rights to it. So when the title insurance company sees this stuff, they're going, well, this isn't cleared. You've got to clear the title, quiet the title, uncloud the title. Whatever it says in that particular jurisdictions, that's what you need to do. So what that means is I'm gonna have to hire somebody, and we have people that we know that are very good at doing this. That's beside the point, but to go in there and then go ahead and make sure that every single one of those is marked off. Okay, so why wouldn't the county just do that? Because that, number one, it costs money and it's not their job. Their job is to prove that the title is clear. Their job is to sit there and go, this is what's on it. Until you come in here and show that it went to the sale, even though they're the ones that did it, it's still gonna remain on it. So somebody's gonna see that and go, yeah, something's not right. A title insurance company is going, we're not gonna insure it. So I want you to equate it this way. Is it possible to get car insurance if you have a bad driving record? Of course, but it's gonna cost you what, money. So is it possible to insure a tax deed property that hasn't been cleared yet? Yes, but it's gonna cost you some money. The better thing to do is to immediately, and I mean immediately, as soon as you purchase that tax deed at the sale, is you need to contact somebody that knows how to clear the title on a tax deed property. It's gonna cost some money and it's gonna take some time. And that's why I say immediately, time is not your friend, okay? In other words, you go, oh, I'll get it to next week. That means there are timelines that they have to fulfill within county requirements in order to get those things off. And the later you start that, the longer that goes on. So you wanna start those immediately. Okay, whatever that is, whatever their system is, you want to get it started. And that starts the process of clearing everything off. Slowly but surely, it'll get rid of everything on that property. Now, when I say slowly or surely, this isn't going to be several years. We're talking months. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And yes, there is going to be an additional fee on that. It is up to you to find out what that fee is. Anywhere from $1,500 on a simple piece of property. You know, I've had $4,000 and $5,000 on something more complex. What do I mean by complex? There was one property that I had 9 errors on it that we had to clear, and 3 of them were the same person, we found out later on. It took a little more time on that. So their job, it went to the sale, I bought it, now they need to clear it, is make sure all of these people were notified, everything was done, and then we're proving that back to the county that it was done, and then those things get taken off the title. This is why you've heard me say in other videos that sometimes you'll see an auction where they go, hey, nobody bid on this property. The family's trying to clean the title up on this property. Because the best and easiest way and most effective way is to go to a tax deed sale. Why? Well, because nothing survives a tax deed sale. Nothing does. It just takes time once you get it to make sure that's clear. So the first thing that you want to do is hire that person to make that happen. Go out there and get that thing cleared and start the whole process. Now, can you sell the property before that's all done? Yes, kind of. You got to find somebody that's willing to be okay with all that, but you might as well just wait. So let me give you a perfect case scenario of confusion. There was a student of mine that bought a property, and it was several years ago. So I think the value on the property was like $325,000. They paid $110,000. This is in New York, I do believe it was. So now they've got a clear title. What they did is they went out and got title insurance, and there are title insurance companies that will insure a tax deed property before it gets cleared. So they go to insure this thing, and the buyer's like, and the buyer wanted to buy it for like $200 and something thousand. There's a $100,000 profit here. So 4 or 5 months down the road, they're like, whoa, wait a second, this thing hasn't been cleared up. They come back to me and they said, I thought these things were cleared. I go, you didn't clear title, you insured title. Understand the difference between both of those. Now, what they did was perfectly fine. The problem is the new buyer was not willing to go ahead and purchase that, which is okay. What they should have done is cleared the title. And so it was just a function of them not understanding what they were trying to do, because they were like, I'm confused. I bought it at the sale, nothing survives that. You're right, but that's up to the sale. Now you've got to erase all that stuff that was eliminated by the sale. It can be a little confusing. Have I ever cleared title on a property? No. I hire people to do that because it is a little complicated. I've had students that have learned how to do that. They're smarter than me, and evidently they got more time than I do, because I just wouldn't waste the time doing that. Hire a professional, let them do that. They'll tell you how long it takes. I literally have a file for some of my attorneys that all the information goes in there, because they'll send me, got a notice from this, we cleared this, this one's been eliminated. It's just an ongoing process, and it really is a function of time. Now, how does it work? It works different every single state, and then every county within that state. It just depends on what they require in that particular area. That's it. Okay, so now let's go over to a redeemable deed state. So like in Florida, I have to wait 1 year after the sale. Then after the sale, 1 year, 365th day, now I can start the abarment, which means I start the back end of the foreclosure on that. Now keep in mind, in Georgia, they can redeem plus 20% in the first year penalty, okay? And as soon as it goes past the 364th day, it becomes another 10% or 30% total. So even during that abarment in that particular state, they can redeem, because that is the foreclosure. They call it abarment. And then once that's done, nobody come back and you own the property. Know your processes. That's the whole point of this video. You gotta know what's going on in that particular area. Here's the challenge I see with new students. They go out there and they get a bunch of properties, then they get all bogged down with this, and they stop doing what worked to get those properties. Don't take your eye off the ball. Two things that you're doing. As you're getting properties, you're cleaning title, you can start work on the property, getting it cleaned up, doing all that stuff, new roof, whatever you want to do on that, rent it out if you're going to go down that route. That's not going to stop you from doing any of that. It's just going to stop you from selling the property with clean title on it. On a redeemable deed state, be careful. Some states allow you possession of the property during that interim, and some don't. It goes back to, you guessed it, knowing the rules. And I'm smiling about this because this is what makes this industry so much fun to me. Because it eliminates people that aren't willing to go out there and do the extra effort and learn this stuff like you are. And I congratulate you on doing that. Watching these videos, getting all the information that you can so that you're properly prepared to make the big money on these videos. So there you have it. You've got tax lien certificate or tax deed certificates. Clearing the title is super important. Now, one of the most important things in all of this is getting trained. I've got some free information for you. I just documented everything that I'm talking about right now. I just put it together. Okay, if you would like access to that, no big deal. Go to higginsmethod.com and I will send that out to you, complimenting my gift for just watching to the end. God bless, good luck, and thank you very much.